seen a lot of passive-aggressive postings on the groups lately about people complaining about other people blindly supporting independent films. I think that's kind of counterproductive. I don't know what the point of shitting on someone's $5,000 movie would be, but I want to give a shout out to Dreamcastle. They put out these VHS mixtapes. You should go check these out. They're pretty cool. You should go like their page on Facebook. They're like tapes of old exploitation movies, horror movies, like sex comedies, stuff like that. Kind of like to be played in the background, or just kind of like if you want something for a short attention span. Alright, so first up, Chubbies, directed by Mike C. Hartman and written by Brian Papandrea and Mike C. Hartman. Marissa and I caught this at Motor City Nightmares on Saturday. It's a very fun, funny movie. It's supposed to be like Ghoulies or Critters, kind of has an 80s vibe. And like it's about these aliens that crash land on Earth and they invade rectal cavities and they turn people into zombies. And the movie starts kind of like with this like Superman Krypton-esque space trial where Brian, he's also in the movie, and he plays all the different characters that come from this planet Snurd where sex is outlawed. And that's where the Chubbies are from. Brian's character, he thinks he's doing the right thing, but he accidentally frees the Chubbies and they crash land on Earth. So, you know, it's Halloween night at the Bolorama. You can see a lot of like, you know, references to 80s movies. I was thinking maybe Sorority Girls in a Slime Bowl, Bolorama. I was thinking about that movie when I was watching this. Yeah, it's funny. And the audience was laughing. Got some big laughs. Good screening. And yeah, you should definitely check it out. It's like just like a fun horror movie in the trauma vein. Lloyd Kaufman actually has a cameo in it. Yeah, definitely a good movie, and support these guys. They're from around where we live. So yeah, local pride. All right. Next movie, I don't have the DVD. I watched a screener online. Die Die Delta Pi, directed by Sean Donahue and Christopher Leto over at Gator Blade Films. It's like a Tampa-based company. I think they kind of have some kind of affiliation with Sleazebox. Sleazebox seems to be like the Wu-Tang of independent film. Down in Florida, everybody kind of, I can't tell who the hell is where and whatever. They have their fingers in a lot of pies. But yeah, so the movie is pretty good. It's hard to describe. I was trying to think about it. I'd say it's a comedy. I mean, it's a horror movie, but it sort of is like another play on 80s, a subgenre of 80s horror movies, which is like slasher movies. And this one's sort of like House on Sorority Row or Prom Night. And it starts in 1986. And there's sort of some silly imagery, like these chicks are like dancing with like, there's like a keyboard in the background just like propped up against the wall, and they're like dancing with a boombox or something like that. And like that stuff is kind of campy, but then the movie is played fairly straight, and that's sort of like where the comedy comes from, because it's not like a Wet Hot American Summer type movie where it's a parody of 80s movies and it's also got its own jokes. It's really just sort of like these characters going through the motions, and they you know, there are all these sort of things, staples of the genre that occur in the movie that that the characters just react to as if it's normal. So it's not like a it's hard to describe. So yeah, I don't know, a little bit postmodern. I gotta give it to them. It's like a Kickstarter movie. They raised something like around $4 grand. So yeah, cool movie. Next up, Seventh Day, directed by Jason Koch. I picked this up at Wasteland. The guys were very friendly, and I didn't know what this movie was about at all. I prefer not to know anything about a movie before I watch it, and I was a little bit like pleasantly surprised when I saw it was about a serial killer, because I'm a little bit of a serial killer buff, and our next movie is going to be about a serial killer. It's inspired by a real story, but I'm not going to let you guys know which story that is yet. But so Seventh Day kind of gets it right. There's a lot of they put a lot of research and effort into the script, I think. And the character kind of reminds me of Jeffrey Dahmer and Robert Pickton. He has this narration. He walks around and there's this hallucination or his imaginary friend. It sort of looks like the tall guy in House of a Thousand Corpses, but it's like he has like a microphone sort of fused with his flesh and sort of this like Cronenberg-esque thing. And he has like a trench coat and like a tie, and so it's sort of like this everyman thing mixed in with like a Slender Man effect. You actually see him right there on the back. But so yeah, he walks alongside this rambling serial killer as the guy narrates his life story, and I don't know. There's some interesting stuff in here. Like the gore effects are pretty intense too. There's a lot of chopping up bodies, and it's pretty realistic. Yeah, and it looks good too, and it's acted well. So yeah, you got to give it to these guys. They're working hard, distributing it themselves, just like all these independent filmmakers. And that's why, I don't know, what's the point of being like, this movie sucks? Not that it does, but yeah. So, all right, cool. Oh, and I was tagged to do questions by Matt Hayes, VanillaGorillaBeast, on YouTube. He is a horror reviewer, and he has a really cool show, so you should go check that out. Let me find these fucking questions. All right. What is the first horror movie I remember watching? Oh my god. Fuck, I didn't think about these beforehand. That was so stupid. I didn't prepare. Fuck. I don't know. Like Milo and Otis. What is your favorite horror movie? Eraserhead? Does that count as a horror movie? The Shining, I like that a lot. I like Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. Well, I just fucking told you guys in a previous video. What is your favorite horror movie genre? I like horror comedies. I like the underground movies. I feel like that's a genre in itself. I don't know. I like slasher movies, and I like zombie movies to a point. All right. What horror genre scares you the most? When I was a kid, I was really scared by demon movies. I don't really care anymore, but I remember the first time I saw Evil Dead. Evil Dead is a pretty basement production, but the first time I saw it, I was scared by it. I was young, but yeah. What is the last horror movie that actually scared you? I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this, and I was actually surprised myself that I was scared, but a little bit creeped out by the Babadook. Hate me, whatever. Who is your ultimate scream queen, past and present? I'd have to go with Adrienne Barbeau. What is a concept that you'd like to see in horror? What is a concept that I'd like to see in horror? A concept? I have no idea how to answer that question. A concept. I don't even know what that means. Okay, what is your favorite on-screen kill? I like the Friday the 13th. It's not a bloody kill, and it's not necessarily my favorite, but it kind of stands out as just being funny. Is in that one Friday the 13th. I don't remember which it is, but where it's like 5 or 6. Jason drags the person, I think it's a woman, in a sleeping bag and smashes her up against the tree. That's pretty cool. What is your favorite horror franchise? I don't know. Nightmare on Elm Street. Who is your favorite horror director? David Lynch. All right. So I guess I gotta tag somebody. I'm supposed to probably tag like 5 people, but I don't want to do that to anybody. But I will tag, and you don't have to do this. But I just want you to make a new video because I like your videos. But OD. You gotta fucking make a video. So yeah, you're tagged. I don't know, you don't have to, whatever. I'm not gonna care. Alright, thanks guys.